status?
4 classifications of citizenship.
Okay.
First is national. Second is citizen. Now, all this is citizen, you must understand. Third is subject. Fourth is alien. Now, any persons in any of any nationality or of any nation at any particular time over periods of hundreds of years may be what you call jurisdictionally or in physical form and politically operating in another government, which means you can go to China and you can probably find anybody from all the nations of the planet at any one time. Likewise here, likewise anywhere else. Now, when you're dealing with the absolute indigenous sovereign people of that particular land, that would be Chinese. If you were in China and you had children in China, they would still be Moors. They wouldn't be Chinese, although Chinese, we still have bloodline. We still have a blood tie, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, if one doesn't understand the classification of citizenship, one has a tendency to operate not only in different jurisdictions, but even with their own, within their own community, not understanding their legal status. And status is the first issue at law in sociology, in anthropology, meaning that when you're dealing with other people, when you're interchanging, your legal status is important because that determines your capacities and your incapacities of operations of dealing with rights, resources, legal matters, etc. in society. Any society, universal. So the first issue is status. Then you're dealing with the jurisdiction / venue of an issue. Then you deal with adjudication or decisions or claims made, etc., concerning any matters, whether it's matters of controversy, matters of resources, etc., the capacity of someone to say that they have authority or not authority over you. So these things are convoluted with us because we're not taught civics.
Right. So is that that's one of the reasons why, like, our people are like basically on the bottom of the totem pole?
Exactly. They don't know the rules of the game.
Okay.
I mean, we're as chattel, movable chattel, as opposed to being national people of the land. Therefore, resources are not in our control. Economics are not that we don't handle these things, but we do it in a service or what you would call a job position, but never in what you call true authoritative position. And most who are signed that way are usually tokens.
Okay.
Prime example. Remember when he was trying to get an apartment when he first came out? He was trying, and they told him he couldn't get it because he was the status that he was in. When you're dealing with your status, there's principles and morals that come along with it. So what happens if he was coming in claiming to be African American or black? We don't know what he's about, so we don't want to watch him. Now, take for instance, we watched the movie Scarface. Italians have principles, they have morals. When Al Pacino was getting ready to bomb the guy remember that scene? And he was in a car and he said, "You think I'm an animal?" And he shot the Cuban dude. The Cuban dude didn't have principles or morals. We don't have principles and morals. When you're dealing with your status and your nationality, we have principles. What is the 5 principles we stand on? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So Italians have that same thing. Chinese have the same thing. But where's the black people's?
So we don't have it because
that's expected from you.
Exactly. You know, so the same thing, incident happened in Philadelphia with the swimming pool issue. They was calling, they got upset because the guy didn't want them in the swimming pool. That's their community. They built it. And when something came up and one of the European student swimming people came in and said, "Why is blacks in the swimming pool?" Now that's a big issue right now. Because we don't know what they're about. They can come in and tear things up. But if you have principles and morals with you, you're going to come in with those things.
And people will already expect that. So basically, when someone has been under the title black or colored or Negro, they're kind of like in the dark in a sense. Meaning people don't know who they are or what you're about.
That's why Tiger says status, the status issue. When you go in, okay, what is his principles? Where's his flag at? Where's his constitution? Where his laws at? All these things play a part. So when you come in.
So black is not a nationality?
No, it's not.
Of course, it's a brand.
No. You can't find that in the dictionary as a nationality.
Okay.
Example.
We're in school right now, y'all. We are in school.
So we have an ordinary dictionary, right?
Okay.
Now, it's available to children as well as adults, right? But as Brother Sabir said, we have a tendency not to read.
Right.
All right, so let's look at black in the dictionary.
You can look up Englishman.
Yes.
And Frenchman and Dutchman. All that's nationality.
Yes. Now, as we can see, black here give me, it's an adjective, right?
Yep, it's an adjective.
All right, now we can go into, it also refers to Negro, etc., right?
Yes.
Now that has meanings, all of which is what? Involved or enveloped in darkness, black, night, gloomy, dismal, sullen, boding ill, forbidding, absent, without any moral light or goodness, which he was talking about.
Right.
Now, when we take that brand, that's what we've told the world, that we have no moral light or goodness. We're sullen. It's a total negative. It's a prayer in one word. It's an adjective.
And also, we talked about like the words and how we cast spells on ourselves.
Exactly. That's a spell. Now, as, pardon me. Now look, continue. And you go down here, and then it gives you a compound word. What's that compound word?
Black or more.
Now, what is that?
It's a noun.
Now they break it down. It's a compound word, right?
Yes.
What's that?
A Negro.
Any?
Dark-skinned person.
What? A variation of?
Variation of black, more.
Which one is capitalized, black or more?
More is capitalized.
What small case? The adjective.
Black.
Now it's separated. And who are those people that think that they're black?
Moors.
Is that complex?
No.
Not hard at all.
Can a child read that?
Yes.
Is it in the dictionary?
Yes.
What's the debate?
There is
Except
none.
that they don't read.
Right.
And the world knows who they are. Now, you understand what masonry is?
Yes, it's basically a secret of what the truth of
It's
what
an open secret.
Open secret.
That's why people who come from around the world has limited respect of us.
Yep.
Because we talk a lot of trash, we know gods, and we take the position nobody else does, and we're arrogant with our ignorance, and they can't tell us anything. Because we think we know what's up when we don't even know ourselves. So you can understand it makes it kind of difficult for civilized people to talk to us, because we always get emotional, want to march, pray, burn their stuff down if they say things that we're not comfortable with.
But you have leaders who know this, especially within the community, but they don't speak about it. Like how can you know the truth?
If I'm an overseer, is it in my interest to free the sheep?
Not at all.
If I got a 501c3 tax exempt status to maintain status quo, is it in my interest to tell the people the truth?
No.
If I'm running them behind civil rights when I know they were struck down by the Supreme Courts in the 1800s as unconstitutional, am I going to sit and tell them that the civil rights absence is civil little mortuus and that's their status, so they can figure to get into a full life status, which is the opposite? Am I going to explain to them the form they're on? Because if I did, they'd be free of me.
So basically you're saying those leaders in that character.
I'm not talking about anyone. I'm talking about principles. If the shoe fits,
Where?
Cinderella's on.
So for those who are wearing it, they are aware of this information and they are continuously misleading.
I would say some are and some are not.
Okay.
Because I give respect to a lot of brothers and sisters out there that's been in the struggle, no matter what the organization, because the point of this information belongs to all of us. It's not ours, if you understand what I'm saying. Just like if I showed you in the book that we're Moors.
Yes.
Is that limited to us who are conscious? No.
It's for everyone who opens
So you got conscious Moors and unconscious Moors. Now, an unconscious Moor doesn't recognize they're Moor. What doesn't mean the rest of the world don't recognize it. It's just that we got issues.
Right.
You may be talking about the political ones.
Yes.
When we say that, we're not talking about the leaders like Ivan Van Sertima or Sheikh Ata Diop or somebody like that who may not know, but those that's in a political form know, and we're not going to say no names because that's going to give them earplay.
And we're not really.
So we're not even. They know, like you said, the shoe fits where.
It's sort of like people often take an offensive to the truth. Don't get mad at the messenger because we're not really attacking anyone. We're just bringing the truth to the people.
Right.
Now, whether or not they can handle it, that's a totally different issue.
Okay.
But as I showed you in the book, right? So why don't they argue with the world? Why they mad at us? Because we're exposing this. These are pictures in Washington, D.C. in George Washington's Masonic Lodge. Right? And people from around the world come and see this. And our people